With Duke Nukem 3D's 30th anniversary being this year, and the last main title game that took forever to make, having come out forever ago now, and well, we all know how that was received. It's been a minute since we've had a new Duke Nukem game. Hell, it's been 10 whole years since the Duke 3D World Tour Edition came out for its 20th anniversary. But with the action game star fizzling out, is it time for an epic comeback to see the ass-kicking, wisecracking hero return? Or is Duke Nukem now a relic of the past? Well, to quote Duke Nukem himself, blow it out your ass. Wrong quote. But to paraphrase Duke Nukem, it's time to talk about Duke Nukem and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum. Good enough. So, before looking into a potential Duke comeback, we have to go back to where it all began.
Don't have time to play with myself.
Duke Nukem started out in the early 90s as a 2D action platformer. Developed by Apogee Software, later transforming itself into 3D realms, Duke Nukem was such a popular title that a sequel was made just a few years later. Duke himself was already becoming a popular video game character, but it wasn't until 1996's Duke Nukem 3D that he became legendary. Created on the Build engine, Duke Nukem 3D stood out from other games before it, like Doom, standing out in what I consider two major ways. The first one being the use of realistic locations. Unlike Doom's claustrophobic corridors and hellish settings, Duke Nukem 3D had you visiting locations that you've been to in real life, like a cinema, a sushi restaurant, and Duke's home away from home, the strip club. The other thing which really set Duke Nukem 3D apart from other shooters was, well, Duke himself. Unlike the silent protagonists, or ones whose only sounds were grunts and screams, Duke Nukem was the first FPS protagonist to prominently talk, and he had a lot to say. Brought to life by John St. John, Duke Nukem would often quip, deliver one-liners straight out of movies, and the thing that 10-year-old me liked the most was he would often say some bad words. Hell yeah. I remember my dad getting the shareware version that had the first episode, and man, I was so excited for the rest of the game. I mean, what other game let you take a piss to get some of your health back? Just like in real life. Fast forward post Duke 3D, we had console games on the PlayStation and N64, and we also had the very first trailer for Duke Nukem Forever. The game was not only pushed back many times, but reworked on new engines as time went by. I very much remember the 2001 build, which looked hella promising at the time. I remember EB here in Australia had empty game boxes, saying that it was going to come out later that year. Spoiler alert, it did not. But hey, we got Max Payne that year, so that was good. Fast forward to 2011 and Duke Nukem Forever was finally coming out. The hype was pretty big, having waited so long, though many were skeptical as well. Surely the game would be the comeback that Duke deserved. Well, sadly, it was not. And apart from a strange crossover in Bulletstorm, there hasn't been a mainline Duke Nukem game in a long time now. Yeah, it's a shame how Duke Nukem sort of left things, for now at least. But looking back, there was a time when Duke Nukem was a household name. Hell, he even went up against Lara Croft in a way, with his third-person titles, saying that his games would be better than Tomb Raider, and it kinda became a running gag for a while in gaming magazines. And speaking of, let's look at some of the advertising for Duke Nukem games. In the 90s especially, you had the very awesome, very extreme 90s advertising, with plenty of humor and self-awareness, including wait a minute, pretty sure that one is fake. But yet it does invoke that 90s attitude, albeit in an exaggerated parody sort of way. Jokes aside, Duke Nukem 3D was the game that skyrocketed Duke Nukem as a whole. But at the same time, many fans would consider this his peak. Though games like Duke Nukem Manhattan Project don't get talked about enough, almost making it feel like a hidden gem.
If you don't subscribe, you like men. Or something. I don't know, and I don't care. Anyway, today's sponsor is Manscaped. Have you ever tried shaving your balls, but they're made of steel? Annoying, right? Well, now you can.
Okay, let's get back on topic. Now, I don't think this gets brought up as much as I might think, but would some people consider Duke Nukem a product of its time? And would Duke work with a modern audience? I feel like some of this discourse may be from Duke Nukem Forever, which felt like a flanderization of his character. almost like a parody of a parody, even though apart from maybe the 2D games, Duke Nukem was never meant to be taken so seriously. His persona in Duke Nukem 3D is literally a parody of big action stars of the time, with cheesy one-liners and a plot to save the Earth from evil aliens who took all of Earth's women. Like, come on, this isn't Shakespeare, this is pure power fantasy fun. Who doesn't want to be Duke? It doesn't matter why the curtains are blue here. Hell, the curtains get blown up. You gotta work on your metaphors. And despite this, I still think Duke had his priorities straight in Duke Nukem 3D, and showed as much humanity as you possibly can in a game where you fight literal pig cops and defecate into a recently decapitated alien.
My kind of party. Wish I had time.
To put simply, Duke Nukem is just pure fun, and was always made to be pure fun. Yeah, it didn't turn out quite as expected with Duke Nukem Forever, but I'd like to think Duke Nukem deserves another chance. Games like Wolfenstein and Doom have been widely successful with their latest iterations, and a part of me thinks a fast-paced, modern Duke Nukem game in a similar vein could work quite well. But another part of me thinks that the better option is to instead look back. It is clear that old-school style shooters in modern times are insanely popular, or as they are sometimes called, boomer shooters.
Actually, they were mainly made by Gen X and played by Gen X and Millennials, some of whom were a little too young to play but loved them anyway.
Anyway, jokes aside, I would love to see a new Duke Nukem game on the build engine. After playing Ion Fury and seeing what is capable on the engine when you push it to its limits, I think it would be awesome for a new Duke game to go back to its roots, the 3D ones at least, but brought into the 21st century. It could have brand new sprites to keep it looking fresh, as well as some new weapons and maybe a few new mechanics here and there to keep it interesting. Like, maybe you can ride a motorbike in some segments or something, but maintain the 3-colored keycard formula, having to find your way around to unlock the next door, and have more interesting real-world locations, all Dukeified. I can also imagine a recreation of some of the more iconic levels, with Ion Fury's level of detail and lighting, and some little improvements here and there, like having the subway cars in Rapid Transit resemble a train a little more, stuff like that. I actually like the new levels in Duke 3D World Tour, but I think a fresh coat of paint with a slight reimagining, and of course, new levels, is what Duke Nukem needs. And of course have the legendary John St. John reprise his role as a roided out, cigar-smoking Dukester himself, with some new lines that might reference newer movies and TV shows perhaps. What would that sound like? Say my name.
You're Duke Nukem.
You're goddamn right.
I am inevitable.
I'm Duke Nukem. My name is Jeff. Only they'd be infinitely better. Also, I'm still waiting for Sister Act 3 and 4.
I was a fool to think anyone would want nude photos of Whoopi Goldberg. What the?
So, does Duke Nukem need a comeback? I definitely think he should return to form, emulating his greatest success, but with a shiny new coat. A part of me thinks that Duke Nukem Forever was poorly received, well apart from not feeling polished and overhyped and all that, because the humor in gameplay felt outdated, and yet I feel like enough time has passed that if there was a new Duke Nukem game that felt like Duke 3D, and obviously played well, it would bring back fans of the original, and also hopefully garnering new fans as well. Keep it simple, and let it play to its strengths. It also brings me great joy to see younger generations playing games like Doom and Half-Life, and having an absolute blast with them. You guys rock! I still can't believe it's been 30 years already since Duke Nukem 3D came out. I also like the YouTube comment on the 30th anniversary video that basically said the video was better because it didn't feature Randy Pitchford. So, with all that said, I genuinely think Duke needs a comeback, and deserves one. A return to form is what I feel would be the best course of action for a successful return, and with all the awesome mods and fan projects being made throughout the years, I have a good feeling that I'm not the only one who wants to see the King return. Thank you all so much for watching. What is your favorite Duke Nukem game? Do you feel like he's due for a comeback? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe check out some of my other videos. I thank you all once again, and I will see you all in the next one.
It's time to kick gum and chew ass, but I'm all out of ass.
Wait, let me do that one again.